right, I'm going to talk some in the video. Just give me a minute here. So, welcome to the video. If you're watching this one, it's because the footage turned out better than the other settings I'm going to experiment with. I am copying a mountain biker on off of YouTube who did a setup video for his GoPro Hero 8. And last time I recorded, I just started doing this, so the first time I recorded a straight video was in 1080p at 60 frames, and didn't turn out so well. So pardon me. So this is going to be 4K. This will be, he had it at 4K, 24 frames per second, a higher bit rate. ISO was slightly dropped to like 100, and a few other settings. So I'm just concerned that because he was doing post-production with editing software, so I don't know if the 4K is going to even really matter. What I learned years ago doing motovlogging with my motorcycle with a GoPro is that I'll go this way. It was when you upload to YouTube, it doesn't get any better than 1080p. Like, the upload is limited to like 1080p at 30 frames per second, which that was many years ago, so I don't know if it's the same. But I'm gonna try this 4K, and I'm just monster trucking today. I'm riding solo, just gonna enjoy nature. I usually ride with Mr. Johnson, my coworker, and I try to keep up with him. He's a fast rider, but I'm just cruising today, monster trucking. Like I said, I got 29ers. Full suspension, giant stance 29.2. Very pleased with it so far. Took a few rides to get the suspension set up, mainly the rear shock. It didn't have enough rebound, so I turned the rebound all the way to max, and now it's perfect. Anything less than max on the rear shock, I think it's a Suntour, anything less than max, and I was getting pogo bouncing, you know. It's pretty solid at maximum, and the front shock's been fine. I just aired it up to my weight. I did add a little more air to the rear shock, and it's about perfect. And this bike seems to be very appropriate for what my intended use. It's a trail bike. So it's a little more relaxed riding in cross-country terrain, you know, and it soaks up the bumps really well. And so this is chilly Fowler Park in Jacksonville, Florida, and there's a pretty wide variety of terrain. This is just the main path leading back to the actual trails. It gets pretty bumpy, a little bit of ups and downs, switchbacks. This is the north side of the park. The other side is completely different. It's like manicured, like high performance riding trails with switchbacks and jumps and all kinds of goodies. But this side's a good warm up for the other side, so you can have more fun when you get to the other side. So yeah, when I recorded the first video, there was a lot of motion blur, even though I had the hyper smooth on. And I want to try the boost. There's hyper smooth boost with the Hero 8, but the guy in the video said you can't use the boost with 4K. However, when I was setting it up, I noticed that it was allowing me to engage the hyper smooth boost. So we'll see. So I might just record